We are live. I think my microphone is working. Hang on. Test. I think we are live. Got a few viewers here. Interviews are wrapping up, and as soon as that happens, our guy Erik Tice is going to join us. But rapid reaction. Wow. The fact that it went down like that after last year, going down like that again for the New Jersey Fives. That's got to be tough to swallow. How about the Columbus Sliders? Beat the 1 seed, the 2 seed, the 3 seed. So maybe it didn't matter that Dallas picked them. Maybe they were just going to beat whoever they had to face. Yeah. Woo. Pretty crazy stuff. So as more people are joining too, we'll be breaking it all down. We've got some real clear stats we're going to dive into. Our guy Erik Tice will be joining. Just going to have rapid reactions. This Columbus run is like going to go down as like one of the great like peak MLP things. Like the 3 Dream Breakers against Dallas, beating St. Louis, beating this New Jersey Fives team. That's pretty wild. So yeah, we're gonna have a ton of fun here. Maybe I should have waited a little sooner to when Tice was gonna join because I just got to vamp y'all let me know who's here in the comments in the live chat. Yeah, so that was wild. We got the confetti pop too right away. I was afraid there was going to be another like controversial challenge that was going to like ruin the confetti moment like we had. The walk-off winner for CJ against Dallas was so clean. And it could have been challenged by Augie, and you couldn't really blame him if he did. And then, of course, against St. Louis, they challenged that one and kind of ruined the moment, I thought. So I always love when like it's just a nice, clean sign-off. The confetti goes off without a hitch. Yeah. Pretty crazy stuff. Pretty crazy stuff. Looks like interviews and all that have just wrapped up too. Tice will be here in less than 5. So until then, you're stuck with me. Woo! How about it? Did anybody? Y'all think anybody actually predicted that? Like, we'll go check Polymarket. I'm sure somebody bought some stocks or whatever you call them over there, but pretty crazy. Let me know too, by the way, guys. I kind of suck at this, so if I don't sound good, if you can't hear me, if my audio is too quiet, I'm assuming y'all can hear me. Nobody said anything in the chat yet, but yeah, that was crazy, truly unpredictable. And with Columbus winning, I do have to give a shout out to Jim Kloss for winning my season-long pick'em. It was between him and Todd Boss in the end. If New Jersey would have won, would have gone to Todd. Instead, Kloss comes away with it. So, yeah, congrats to him. Oh, the audio is good. That's always a pleasant surprise. I started up this stream like 5 hours ago, and I just hadn't like clicked the start button yet. And, it's kind of weird. Like, didn't know when we were actually be doing this. But yeah, pretty crazy. What a weekend. How about Andre Diescu and Paris Todd? You have to give them both credit for coming out like that and facing the 2-1 deficit 2 times and winning. And then with a 2-1 lead, closing it out too. Like, Annalie Waters going 0-3 in that mixed is pretty wild. And it's kind of the same thing we saw them do against the Dallas Flash. Yeah, hey, say what you want about whether or not he is the smartest man in pickleball. He did win the pick'em. So we got to give him credit for that. We already had 26 views. Guys, that's huge for me. We're gonna be doing numbers like we did at the MLP draft stream. That was the last time I actually had Tice on a live stream here. So we've got a high bar to clear. But yeah, what do y'all think? Was that like the best series? Just this whole run though, the whole run from Columbus. Andre's historic MLP needs to be studied. Truly insane. This is kind of what I thought we would see more from them from the start of the year. I picked them. I gave them like an A+ after the draft. It was right after CJ and Andre had just won a PPA Gold. And it just takes time, I guess, to come together. You think about St. Louis, Dallas running it back. So like they're just going to hit the ground running, and that's what we saw. But then down the stretch, Dallas faltered a little bit. St. Louis, the things that they improved on from last year was mainly that mixed line with Kate and Gabe. That was kind of such a dud in 2024, and in 2025 it was so good. And that's kind of the same thing that came up empty in the series against Columbus. So that's certainly interesting to talk about. Even getting further on down, like I don't want to move too far beyond just this moment in this series because, it needs to stand alone, need to let it breathe for a little bit, but like a lot of interesting questions for a lot of teams coming up with the offseason, who they can keep, who they can drop. So that's gonna be fun. Oh, Tice is here. Tice is here. So I'm just gonna throw him in here. I don't know what I'm doing really. I don't know the proper etiquette. Tice, you're in. You're live.
What up, baby? Can you hear me? Okay.
Yeah, you sound great.
Okay,
I've just been vamping for about 5 minutes and 54 seconds, but give me your instant reaction. Wow.
Wow is right.
Yeah.
I texted somebody. Actually, I'm muting my phones because we're professional podcasters. I texted somebody, tell me MLP is not the best pickleball product in the world. I did.
There was a lot it took a lot to get here. There was a buildup.
Right.
But if you stuck around for all of it, like the payoff was there 100%. Anytime you could just play off Dream Breakers in the series and then just like, the drama, like it just,
the
story
100%.
It's whew.
So entertaining throughout the whole entire day.
Even Challenger, like I didn't watch much Challenger, but Challenger delivered a little bit too. Although I won't lie,
sure.
I did feel a little bit like that Challenger match, even though it was great, Dream Breaker was kind of a snooze. I was just like so ready for this match 3. I was like, let's get this thing done with. I know it's like a big deal for these teams, so I don't want to make light of that, but I was like ready to go for this thing.
Yeah, no, I don't think MLP could have drawn it. Like if it was like, hey, this is the outcome today,
Mm-hmm.
I don't think they would have drawn it up any different. Like unbelievable drama throughout the whole thing. We have controversial calls. We have leaders. We have, certain players stepping up, certain players not playing well. Like what a freaking day of pickleball.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And like just no filler, just like the best stuff the whole way through, start to finish. So finals MVP, is there anybody you could give it to besides Andre Diascu if you had to pick someone? It's the slam dunk, right?
He went 6-0
against some pretty good players. Annalie Waters, I don't know if you guys have heard of her. She's pretty good.
Yeah, she is pretty good. Went 6-0, 3-0 in men's and 3-0 in mixed against ALW and Will. Played lights out in the semis, quarters. Like if he doesn't play, I would say there was no time in the playoff run. This is a crazy thing for me to say, and I probably get killed for it. That's fine.
Let it rip.
I don't think there's any time throughout the playoffs where Andre played less than 95% of his potential, right? Like he's just hitting his highs the whole time. Like we talk about ceiling and floor all the time in terms of like kind of discussing where players are ranked or whatever. But Andre was at the ceiling the whole freaking time, which
the whole way he was, yeah.
And he even mentioned it in the interview. He's like, dude, I'm toast. Like,
if the emotional, like just like getting that up for everything too, and like just knowing
for sure
the immense pressure you're carrying of like to do this for your team.
100%. Where are we going next?
I don't know. Do you want to just talk through that final match? Kind of like
sure.
The stage was set. We had seen, women's was like just a total beatdown. I think it was 11-2, 11-1 heading into this one. And the first 11-2 match or game in the first match of the series, it was only 16 rallies, which is crazy.
It was so fast. I almost went back and just like did a stopwatch on it because it was definitely less than 13 minutes. It was if there wasn't 2 timeouts to like for side switch and a timeout, like with media, that thing would have been done in 6 minutes.
The stream was down for like the start of that men's doubles. And by the time that first men's doubles came on yesterday, it was like already 4-0. So like women's doubles, men's doubles, not really too much to talk about there in any of the matches. It just was like, it was like 2 kind of just lopsided teams. And once we got into mixed is really where it felt like it was going to come down to, especially we had somebody talk about it too. the blown call on that challenge in match 2 at 10-10. It would have given, I believe, Columbus an 11-10-2 rally to try to close that one out. So, I mean, coming into this third deciding match, you really had to feel like, okay, Dream Breaker is always going to be kind of a toss-up, but like of all the games that could flip, that was the one. Like if Columbus finds a way to just turn that one around, all of a sudden we're not talking about Dream Breaker and you're flipping it and you're putting the pressure on Annalie Waters to have to come in. Whereas, just wild.
One thing, for sure. So every single one of the 3 matches went fives women won, sliders men won, and then really what turned the table was Noe and Megan losing to Leia and CJ, and you just felt that momentum because Dave talked about it early as they were getting out of gender doubles and into mixed. He was like, "This is the one that I feel like could change." And the biggest difference to me was in both match 1 and 2. Noe and Megan got off to a hot start. It was like always like 4-0, 5-0, 5-1, whatever it was. And then the Columbus team of I'm blank. CJ and Leia started off, even if I think it was just 2-0, but it was like, oh, they got a lead for the first time. And then it felt like the momentum had kind of shifted there. And obviously it did. They played great. Crazy matches. Yeah,
just truly crazy. I thought when it came down to like the final game, the mix number 2 with Paris Todd was pulling the trigger on some speed ups that I didn't feel like had too much business working as well as they did, but like the guy Andre was just locked in on those counters. I mean, they got away with a few, and then there were a few I think some tough moments for Will Howes. He'll probably have a few ones he wants back, missing an overhead that was wide, missing the serve. I think they also had a lead early in that one and missed a few returns, I want to say. But yeah,
right.
It felt like it was there for the fives, and like that's got to be tough. Yeah.
Let's talk about that. And you may not know this, but I'm fairly confident this is exactly how last year's finals went. Like,
oh yeah, they won in a Dream Breaker, lost in Dream Breaker. I think Dave was talking about it on the broadcast, and then they lost in
like
regulation.
This has got to be heart-wrenching for the fives. Like, they made it to 2 finals. They win a Dream Breaker in match number 1, lose in 2, feel like, okay, we can come back from this. We have ALW and Will at the end. They can clutch up and get us to a Dream Breaker. We can turn the tides here. And they just couldn't do it.
Let's go and highlight our first really hot take of chat right here. Is Annalie not the GOAT anymore? That's a little reactionary. So, she did still miss the MLP, with the one feather in her hat. But I think we can say Annalie Waters is pretty safely still the GOAT of pickleball.
100%. And not really. I mean, obviously a fun, like, entertaining hot take, but not real.
Yeah. Love a good hot take. If you got hot takes in there, let them fly. And also, if you are not subscribed to this channel, would appreciate if you consider doing that. Like this video. For some reason you aren't familiar, by the way, too, with Erik Tice. Erik Tice does amazing content over at the Dink. I'm sure you'll have a spectacular write-up for this one. You weren't on, I guess you can see you're at your house. You weren't on site for this one.
I was not. No, we had Alex Weaver, our director of content, there. He was taking a bunch of video, and he was kind of intermingling there. He did a great job all weekend.
I need to study up my English because apparently that's not what reactionary means. I don't know. You guys know what I meant. But Ben, shout out to Ben, the guy. This is Ben Badula, who runs Real Clear Stats. Or he's got a team of scorers statting all the games. We're going to dive into some stats here in just a little bit. But he's got an interesting point here, too. Like, there's the weird situation. Can you first explain how the home field advantage works? It was kind of convoluted or weird to me. It was, I mean, I'll just let you take it.
So home field advantage, listen, I talked about this on a podcast with Zane. I think Major League Pickleball needs to fix how home field works in the playoffs. But the way it worked this year was the better seed gets home field advantage in the first 2 matches. So the fives got to react to mixed lineups and Dream Breaker lineups in the first 2 matches. Then, and to be fair, none of it really mattered because it was the same lineups. But between match 2 and match 3 this afternoon, while the Challenger final was going on, there was an actual coin toss. And from that coin toss, the Columbus Sliders won. So now they are the home team, and they get to react to the lineups. It didn't play out here, but New Jersey threw out the same lineup they had the whole entire time. And then Columbus reacted with the same lineup they had the whole entire time. So do I think it was an advantage? Maybe, probably not, to be honest, because both teams were like, okay, we'll put our best against your best. We'll put our second mixed team against your second mixed team. And we're going to keep the Dreambreaker lineups the same because we're confident in our players. And it's going to come down to execution. I
mean, talking about just like, it felt like of all the games, Columbus was closer to flipping one than New Jersey was. So I think it makes perfect sense. So they were just happy to run it back. And yeah, execution just got the better of it down the stretch.
Right. And it's also worth noting, like, and I know for the fans that are very knowledgeable, they know this already, but I just want to reiterate, like, the Sliders beat the number 2 seed in the quarters that picked them. Then they go and play the number 1 seed and kill them in 2 matches.
And like they really won good doing
3-0 against the St. Louis Shock.
They smoked the men too.
Stats,
Andre and CJ destroyed.
Yeah. Right. And that's the best men's doubles team in MLP this year in the regular season by far. It's not even like close. And so they won 3-0. I think they won in a Dreambreaker in the semis. So now they beat the 2, the 1, and they beat the 3 seed. Yes, the chosen ones. I think Dave kind of came up with that moniker for them, but they just kept getting chosen and just kept winning. Here's a crazy thing for you. Thinking I should, we're going live here, so I'm not as prepared as I normally would be. But in the playoffs, I believe the Sliders won 6 matches. They played 8. And of the 6 matches they won, 5 of them were in Dreambreakers.
That sounds right. The only one they won that wasn't a Dreambreaker was that last one.
Right. And so they played.
There might have been a St. Louis one. Yeah.
The St. Louis one. Oh, no. Yeah. So, yeah, the last one and the St. Louis one. So it's like they played 3, 2, 3. That's 8 matches. And it's just insane to me.
What was here's a question I saw in here. Which Columbus win was the best? I mean, I think the Dallas one is what made everyone into a believer. The Dallas that second Dreambreaker where they just like kind of came out and smoked them. And I mean, let's also talk about CJ Klinger hit a down the line winner to close out that Dreambreaker. He hit a down the line winner to 3 times in like clutch moments to like close out matches. Like he was. Right. I put Columbus entering the semifinals. I did a power ranking last week. And I took a little bit of flack for this, but I put Columbus last place of Dreambreaker power rankings, which some people said was kind of controversial. And apparently it was a little controversial because they just had it. They just had it. Like I just don't think of their men as the singles like badasses that they were. 4 rallies at a time, though. It was enough.
Right. And yeah, I think Andre played well above his level in most of the Dreambreakers, and CJ did as well.
I think 21 and 14 against J-Dub in particular is like. That's for
sure.
That's eyebrow raising.
Right. 100%.
And the fact that they, smoking the Shock, Pickleball Jones in here, that was wild for sure. The way they did that too, that was another one where it was just like, they never even got into the match, I think, what do you think about, I think it was maybe Alex Lance and a few other people, he's over at the kitchen saying that these low bounces on the courts really like neutered or just kind of the off the bounce speed ups. They just like were ineffective for Gabe and Hayden.
Yeah, I mean, 100%. I think that's probably a very much under talked about situation right now. I think on every podcast recapping this, this week, I think that'll be something that will be talked about ad nauseum, right? Because like, think about this for a second. Shock is number 1 overall seed, right? Columbus negated them very effectively, and Gabe and Hayden are arguably two of the top 5 guys in pickleball.
27 and 2. I mean,
well, I'm saying individually, I think both of them are top 5 guys in pulling speed ups off the bounce. And that was negated with this. And also, we saw obviously Annalie is great at a whole bunch of stuff, but she is also very well known for being the best female in pickleball by far at a lot of things, but one of them is speed ups off the bounce.
I think Anna Bright would also be another name in that consideration.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And so it's like you could see how that would, the ball not bouncing as high, the ball having a little bit of an awkward bounce sometimes really affected some of those other teams. And in Columbus, they're one of the longest teams. If you think about, even Paris isn't super tall, but she does lean in and take balls out of the air more than
like
most
Andre
women.
too, just on his 4th shot, keeping teams back, just like be able to just lean in and just be aggressive.
Yeah, it's very difficult to get the ball on the ground against the men and against the guys in mix. Plus, Leia and Paris can both reach in incredibly well. So I think those conditions in New York favored them a little bit. I'm not saying that that's the reason they won, but I do think it's got to be a talked about situation this week.
Yeah, whichever one is, I forget if headwinds or tailwinds are good, but whichever one is good, they had that going for them.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So what do you guys want to get into now? We can maybe pull up some of these stats. I've got stats for pretty much all of the matches. We can just kind of focus on the one today. We could go back a little further too. Probably keep it focused on just semifinals and onward. Do you have any strong takes there? Anyone in chat want to see anything, or Tice? How do you want to go?
I'd like to see each game of the final match, if that's cool. Or we could go wherever you want. But
no, that's a good place to start.
Meg played amazing.
This is not the right one,
to be honest.
I think this is the one.
Yeah, I'm not a tech guru. There's no way I'm putting up my screen. You're in charge of this.
Yeah, okay. So here, first thing jumped out, keeping the ball away from Annalie Waters. Anytime you could do that, you'd think that'd be a good thing. Only 41% of the touches, 125 balls for Megan Dazon, 86 for Annalie Waters. But the first thing you'll see in this game in particular, this is our rally and impact flow. This is a stat that just at a glance will kind of tell you who was impacting the game positively or negatively. And it's not like the end all be all of if this number is good, you played well, or if this number is bad, you played bad. But you get +1 if you hit a clean winner. You get plus 0.75 if you force an error, minus 0.25 if you commit a forced error, -1 if you commit an unforced error. So as we can see here, Megan Dazon led all players in this women's doubles game of the final match here. Speed ups, both her and Annalie Waters had a ton of success. Pretty much everybody did in this one. Another stat I always like to look at is just who's getting to the kitchen. New Jersey Fives got there about half the time, to only 40% for Columbus. And probably thanks to them being so aggressive, they ended up winning 9 of the 15 rallies where all 4 players are at the kitchen. And they dominated this matchup all 3 games. It never was close. It was really ugly at times. And it was just kind of a beatdown. So let me see. I wasn't looking at chat there, so I hope you guys could see that. But if there's anything y'all saw that jumps out to you, let me know. I could zoom in on anything. If I need to adjust the way it's looking too, let me know. But that's kind of the rundown at a glance, of women's doubles there.
Okay. So my immediate reaction to that is I thought Meg played unbelievable in that women's game, and all those stats tell me that was correct. She did play really well, countered really well, sped up really well. But again, that one went the same way we thought it was going to go, right?
Yeah. Another kind of fun one to look at is just who's actually hitting the rally winning shots, that's you would think Annalie Waters would be the one hitting more rally winning shots. Another thing to look at too here is the opportunities. This is the shot that is, so if you yield an opportunity, that means maybe I popped it up and then Erik crushes a winner right into my face. So it's the shot right before that. An opportunity created would be the shot immediately preceding the opportunity yielded. So this is kind of who's the one creating the looks. Who's the one kind of giving up the other team's looks? This is just kind of another thing to look at. But yeah, like not too much to dive into here. The better team won pretty easily.
Yeah. I'd like to go. Actually, we could go to men's if you want. But
it's kind of the same thing though. Like we all know what happened here. I will say though, they did get a little dicey there towards the end. If we look at our game flow here, I think it was 10-2, and then it got all the way up to 10-7 here. So CJ Klinger leading all players with our rally and impact flow, and it was really at 10-9-2-1 here. Noah Cliff was just not having a good game. He was not generating any offense and really started to find something down the stretch. I'm going to scroll over to the right here real quick. And this is just like a point-by-point log of what happened. So anytime you see anything that's green in this column right here for Noah Cliff, that is him generating a rally-winning shot, whether he's forcing an error, hitting a clean winner. And like he literally had no offense until 9-1. And then all of a sudden, it just kind of started clicking a little bit, but it was just already kind of done at that point. It was too little, too late.
Yeah, I think this is the men's, right?
Correct.
Yeah. The New Jersey Fives guys struggled trying to find a rhythm. It was one of the most, how do I put this? It was an awkward situation. They were reverse stacking.
Yeah, that was another thing they were doing all weekend. It just never felt like they really figured out what they wanted to be like with that. It's like an advantage if you do it well, but I don't really think they did it particularly well.
Yeah, so what ended up happening was I think Will was getting targeted, and this is throughout the semis and the finals. Mm-hmm. Will was getting targeted on returns, and he was missing some forehand returns in the middle. And his better shot is the two-handed backhand drive and or drop, right? Mm-hmm. And Noe does have a good forehand. So they said, okay, while we're serving, let's reverse stack, and then while we're returning, let's keep Will on the left. But it never really was like for sure this or for sure that. It was like they were looking at the sideline multiple times, like, what do we do?
Can I give you a crazy thought that I had entering this third and final match? Would it have been allowed within the rules to have started Zane Navratil for this, then subbed him out for mixed, and then just once you sub, you just can't put him back in? So like if they wanted to shake it up, like I thought like that would have been like, maybe I'm just like, searching for like a storyline to like make this into like a Disney movie. But if it wasn't working for you in men's doubles, which it had been, I was kind of wondering, like, I thought Zane and Will and the stats, their record in the regular season, they've obviously had more time to come together, but like their record was better. I thought maybe like crazy move, it would probably not work and be under a ton of scrutiny if it didn't work, but I don't know. Is that allowed in the rules even, or am I making stuff up?
No, I think you're totally right. Now, if that were to happen, let's play it out. So the coin toss happens. New Jersey names Zane as the starter for men's doubles
for the entire thing.
They have to. And then they do they get through men's doubles, and then they say Zane is hurt.
Effectively.
And they throw Noe in. There's no repercussions because there's no
future match. Zane's not going to even be on your team like next,
Now, listen, if you do that as like Ryan Harwood or Lee or who, I don't know who makes the actual decisions there on the lineups, and you lose again.
Yeah, but like
you're under some scrutiny for sure.
For sure. And if it works, you get a rule named after you when they plug that loophole in the next season. So,
But also, like, think about, I mean, obviously it's a fun thing to think about, but as I go into that, like, I'm putting my GM hat on for a second. I'm like, how's Noe's confidence
for sure.
If you go into that with a mix, like, it's got to be at an all-time low. So
I don't know. I just wanted it to be like a Disney movie. It would have been epic, but probably me just doing a little too much. I saw Ryan DeWidgeon here in the comments too, GM of the Texas Ranchers. As he knows, I am the official armchair GM of the Texas Ranchers. What that means is I just text him terrible ideas that he says are terrible ideas. That probably could be filed in my terrible ideas folder. But let's go and move on to the next mixed one. And this is kind of the one line that flipped. This is the one that won the day, or at least kept it from going to a dream breaker. We'll get into mixed doubles here, and I could flip around to the other ones if we want to do a little comparing too. But the game flow, they were in control pretty much the whole way. I mean, right off the bat, just unforced errors is very good. Anytime you got, so this accuracy here is basically just how many balls did you hit and how many balls like were still like did you keep in play. So 97% accuracy, anything in that upper 90s is going to be like really strong. And if you ever see anything in the 80s, like even in some of these games that is there was a game where like St. Louis got just wrecked by CJ and Andre, and I think they had like accuracy down in like the low 80% range. So like you want this number to be firmly in the 90s. The higher it is, usually the better you'll do. Again, just kind of all else equal. But yeah, CJ Klinger obviously taking up, like we saw how he play. Like what do you think of the way they play where Leia is like off the court completely? You know, it was pretty wild.
Yeah. So I think to the casual observer, you're like, what in the hell is going on right now? And it's like, well, you know, people are like, oh, Leia's off to the side. It's like they've been playing like this all season, right? Like let CJ get big, and then Leia can basically half Ernie the whole entire time. And what does that set up? That sets up balls to her forehand, and making her much more dangerous. Like I can't tell you the amount of times I saw Noe speed up cross court at Leia, but she's just like there's no decision making in Leia's position, right? Like that takes away some decisions, and she's just sitting there waiting for a speed up, and she's just going to forehand slap that thing down. And
in this game in particular, she did was a lot more aggressive, I thought. And you can see here the speed ups, very effective firefight. So the difference between a speed up and a firefight initiation. Basically, if you hit a speed up and it's just a clean winner, that doesn't enter into like a firefight. So that's kind of, or maybe if you hit one into the net, it doesn't. It's kind of like the differentiation between those two. It's like an initiation would be just who is hitting the first shot to start it. And then it gets assigned to a player as one of their counters if they were like the first one targeted. So that's kind of how you can think of those stats. But yeah, crazy. They just had it in this one.
I mean, a lot of green there for Leia in that.
Yeah.
If you could scroll back up.
Yeah.
In the speed ups part.
Speed ups
and firefight. She played great in that
so
one.
Every 9.6 times she hit the ball, she was starting a firefight, which is pretty aggressive compared like Noe, like wasn't really doing too much offense. It was very much Columbus controlling everything. They were the ones starting all the firefights, ones finishing it. You can see kitchen rallies. They won 2/3 of those. They got to the kitchen better. If those two numbers are against you, like I would bet you'd be hard pressed to find a single win where somebody loses those two stats and they win a game.
Yep, for sure.
There was a 63 shot rally too. By the way, there was a really good rally right before the end change that kind of like really like maybe like this is happening. This is happening. Yeah.
Oh, that one was crazy. That one was that the one where like Noe got too ridiculously defensive, and then also Meg got one. Yeah, that was an insane rally for sure. That's a highlight reel one.
Yeah, to go back to. If you guys tune in later this week for my proper Statty Pickles recap, we're calling these live streams Chatty Pickles, and my full recaps are Statty Pickles. So tune in later in the week. Actually, I don't know if I'll have that one in there because if I do too long of clips, sometimes I get like a copyright thing. But I'm supposed to be allowed to use their clips, but I don't know. Anyway, beside the point. Mixed doubles number 2. This was the one that closed it out, and you can see here, like, hey, it seemed like a concerted strategy to make Will Howes beat you. 35% of the touches, only 53 touches for Annalie Waters, 97 for Will Howes, 7 unforced errors, a few big ones down the stretch in particular. I think maybe a missed serve, the one overhead that looked to me like he just kind of overcooked it. A few dinks. I mean, yeah, it kind of just got away. And even like when they had there was another crazy rally too where Paris threw up that crazy shot and Will somehow got it back, and then Annalie jumped into the middle and just put it right into the net. So like when she did have her chances, they were too far in between, I guess, and just like just didn't really have it going.
Right. Yeah. And I mean, they lost all 3 to Andre and Paris, and sometimes you could see AL probably trying to do a little bit too much because she was getting iced out so much. It's like,
and you could feel the desperation kind of building. Yeah.
Right. And you could definitely tell that they felt the pressure to get it done, especially because it's like we talked about earlier before, like we pulled up the stats, like literal carbon copy of the finals last year. And I'm sure at some point in match number 2, definitely in between 2 and 3, definitely in 3, the team had to be thinking about, gosh, I don't want this to go the same way as it did last year, rather than trying to have that positive mentality of like, okay, let's go take this.
Yeah. You wonder if that was like the case for, just like all the kind of top teams. Yeah, we got some good chat going here. By the way, best players that know the game. Here's a list of Ryan. Go check out what these players have to say about the game. I've talked with Anna Bright on this channel a few times. She's always fun to have on. But yeah, always fun to see more pros kind of putting out like content. Like there's a good video with Hurricane Tyra Black, like actually breaking down game film. So stuff like that's always super interesting to me. But is there anything else in this last game that like we need to talk about? Let's look at the game flow too. Like there was some momentum shifts for sure. They looked like they were going to maybe make a move and tie it up, and then just kind of plateaued there right at 6. Yeah. Were you rooting for a team in particular here, or are you unbiased as a media member and strictly professional?
No, I do. I mean, I talk to certain, I think it's a very well-known thing. I try to talk to as many players, as many teams, as many GMs as I possibly can. So there are certain players I have fairly good relationships with. But no, I'm not rooting for anybody. Honestly, I'm rooting for really good pickleball, and we got that the entire weekend. And that's the best for me is like, I wasn't even worried about it. Everybody kept talking in the regular season. We're at, I don't remember, actually the New York City one in July. Right. And it's like, okay, we don't have many good teams. We got the Hustlers getting beat like 77-2.
I was dropping my stat in there where like the bottom 8 teams were like 4-90 or whatever it was against the top 8 teams.
And so there's a lot of talk in the regular season, and I get it. I understand the sentiment, especially from fans, is like, okay, we have 10 regular season events, and there's there are a bunch of pundits that are like, there's not enough parity, and I'm just like, who cares? Like, none of that matters now. Like, who cares that the Hustlers lost whatever to whatever? We got really freaking good pickleball throughout last weekend and this weekend, and the top teams got to play against each other, and we were entertained. Like, if you weren't entertained all weekend, then I don't know how. I just don't know how.
Yeah, it was. I mean, the last 2 weeks really with like the whole drama too. Last year, you could pick your opponent, and everybody just went chalk and picked who they were supposed to pick, and I think I said this in the intro. I forget if you were here, Tice, but like it might not have actually mattered if Dallas picked. This Columbus team, they beat all the same teams they would have had to face, just in a different order. Like it's
for sure. They should have been.
They might have had to play, I guess, LA, which who knows how that would have gone. But like the way LA looked against New Jersey, you'd have to imagine this was just the team of destiny. As we said, we can say it one more time, the chosen ones.
Yeah, the chosen ones, right? What did Ryan just say?
The biggest and best change for MLP compared to last year, like rules wise, the way it like operated. I am a rally scoring fanboy, so maybe hot take there. Don't hit the unsubscribe button for that. I would have liked to keep rally scoring, but at the end of the day, like still watching really good pickleball. So like it is what it is.
I'm gonna agree with you, but like on the other end of the spectrum, I really like traditional scoring, and I love that like up until this season, there was no strategy involved in winding or unwinding a stack, switching, all of that. And I personally like watching as much strategy involved in the match itself, other than just like picking lineups and that stuff. What are some other options there in terms of biggest and best change?
Expanding the league and expanding rosters was kind of
expanding rosters. Like a big miss in my opinion. I don't like the expanded rosters.
Hey, letting us call matches, that's a good improvement. Yeah.
Maybe letting us call matches is an improvement or a negative. I could see it either way.
We didn't get canceled, to my knowledge. I mean, we're still here and we have 50 people here, so
got it.
Okay, here we go. Ryan says the best change was home games, fanfare, intros, timing and hosting. The drum line for Dallas did go on a little bit long for me,
for Dallas was
but
good.
it was a pretty cool touch. I think in Austin, I'm biased. Austin Pickle Ranch hosted a great event there.
Yep.
Strong turnout, especially over a holiday Memorial Day weekend. Even though it was hot, it was unseasonably hot for May.
I
ton of fun.
enjoy that.
I agree. Yeah. We were there for that. The home atmosphere was a ton of fun. I mean, remember it all started off with that orange court in Orlando. For better or worse, like we're going to be. You see a clip from that 2 years from now, and you will know that was MLP Orlando 2025. So take that for what it's worth. Yeah. Not too many changes though, right? Like they kind of.
I mean, there were a lot of changes, but like I don't know if any of them
good changes,
or
not a lot of good.
So
changes.
I don't know how many of them were good changes and or significant changes.
I'm pretty sure this is my dad or my brother. Wants teams to. I don't know if I'm supposed to dox you or not. Sorry. Wants teams to sub in mid. That'd be an interesting rule. Making subs. Yeah.
I 100% like the expanded roster to 6 is kind of nonsensical to me, to be honest. Half the teams didn't even travel their 5th and 6th player because they couldn't like regularly play. So I think if MLP is going to stick with a 6-player roster next year, they need to be able. Now, I'm not saying craziness. Like we don't need absolute insanity. All I'm saying is if we still have to get the rosters in the night before, which I still don't really understand why we have to do that. But if that's the case,
I think it's gambling, right? So you can like have a line or something, which is kind of stinks.
We don't have gambling. We don't have gambling.
By the way, guys, everybody who's watching, real quick, I started to interrupt Erik. You do have to take a drink because I mentioned my dad. So everybody take a drink, and also let me know: is this a good username for my dad on social media? Is this no good? Good. He wants to like do something different. So let us know if we like this or not. Definitely has a little bit. I don't know. I'll let you guys handle that one. I won't go any further than that. But yeah, sorry, totally interrupted you.
You're good. So a couple things. First of all, I saw Patrick Betty said you can gamble on Polymarket. First of all, Polymarket's not a gambling site. Second of all, it's not legal in the U.S., so there really is no gambling in pickleball right now.
It's coming. It's coming. 5 to 72.
Yeah, exactly. Yes, Ben. Thank you for that. That's a very accurate timeline too. I think that's perfect. But for real, it's like if we're expanding to 6, perfect example. We just talked about it. Sorry, I got a little high pitch there. But like the 5s, right? So you send out, you should be able to send out Zane to men's and No Way to mixed.
That'd be fun.
Right? If there would be so much more strategy, there would be so much more storylines to be talking about. And so although I like the idea of the change, I don't like how it all ended up, but I think the vision of the future of that is very good.
And I do think there is something special. What makes Dream Breakers fun is that you have to have a player like Megan Dazan out there trying to hold her own, fight for her life against like a Leia Jansen. Like there is something kind of fun about that, even though it would arguably be a straight up better product if you just were able to put out, I don't know who their 6th woman is, but like, you see what I'm saying? Like it's like almost like a designated hitter, you know?
Right. And Meg was awesome. I think in that Dream Breaker, Meg beat Leia like 5-3, and she was unbelievable. Leia did not play bad in that Dream Breaker at all.
No, she had one like really good shot. That was just like,
it was like, what in the hell just happened there?
Yeah, Dream Breaker, it was 5-3, which I mean, you take that. Let's talk too about the way if we can talk about the Dream Breakers from the first 2 games. Chat, if there's anything you want us to dive into too, we can talk a little bit about like even the St. Louis matchup or even like LA. We're probably going to be on for probably another 15 minutes. Probably call this thing at about an hour. So
sounds good.
Yeah. What should we do?
I'm trying to think. Oh, we already talked about that.
Oh, we can do the Dream Breakers from this championship match.
Okay.
Yeah. I'll get my screen share back up. By the way, guys, 56 viewers. I saw 60 there a second ago. Awesome. I appreciate everybody being here. So yeah, thank you. Don't take it for granted, you know. I've done streams with like 6 people before, so
We've done a stream together with hundreds of people before where we had no information. It was incredible.
That was a ton of fun. And I couldn't even talk by the end of it. I was like, I literally sounded like, So first Dream Breaker, Will House, 8-4. This is the one that New Jersey won. I think too, Paris Todd like really did a good job of kind of neutralizing the Anley Waters
for
threat.
Sure.
So in this first one, it was 4-4, and let me see what it was in the second Dream Breaker. 4-4 in both of them. I mean, take that and run with it.
Right. And I talked about I was texting with somebody the other day. I forget. It was last weekend actually. But like in a Dream Breaker, right? Almost every pairing is like, oh, this person should win like a little bit more, but like they could easily go 50-50, right? Like there's a slightly favored player in every Dream Breaker lineup. The crazy part is like versus a Caitlin Christian, I was like, ALW has the largest margin of like expected victory against her, even though like Caitlin's a top 5 player.
Yeah, and I think she like 9-3'd her in that quarterfinal Dream Breaker.
Right. Yeah. And so going into this, if you're Paris, I think like mentally, obviously she's a very good like
coming off a PPA gold,
very
like,
good
hot hand. I think is like a good thing too. And Leia, I think in one of their little post-match little social things was like, "Oh, I'm glad I played against Anna Bright for the St. Louis thing." She got a scouting report in, so yeah.
Yep. But like Paris, even if Paris went so they went 8-8 combined,
4-4,
16 points. Even if Paris goes like 6-12, I think that's a win. And to go 8-8 is like huge, massive win because the 5s are expecting ALW to basically get 3-1 every time.
Yeah. Definitely.
Is this still the first one?
This is the first one, but I can quickly. Here's the first one. Here's the second one. So, I mean, Dazan and Jansen went 8-8 in the whole thing. But it was kind of lopsided.
That's a big win for Meg, for sure.
And then Hal's was kind of the big winner. I mean, he just started off basically him and Andre split in the first Dream Breaker if you just ignore the 0-4 at the start, which obviously you can't. So that ended up being a huge difference maker in that one. And then in the Dream Breaker yesterday, Diascu 7-5 over Will House. So Andre Diascu getting good results. 4 rallies at a time. You don't want to be facing this guy. He's just big. He's long. You're not going to have many like easy passing shots.
Right.
Hey guys, who won? By the way, Columbus won. Welcome to the show, DNP.
Cinderella
also
story.
Did not play. Did not watch. Columbus in 3. They won. Lost a Dream Breaker, won a Dream Breaker, and then won in regulation. So how about that? Here's an interesting question. You retooled a little bit around Annalie Waters, and I think the Megan Dazan pick was, by the end of the season, I mean, I think they're the best women's doubles team. I don't think that's too crazy thing to say. Just the way that they played in the last 2.
23 in a row?
Something like that.
20 between 21 and 23 in a row. I would say they're the best.
So like you might know more than me, and I think this is a fun video topic for a future date, maybe just breaking down what each team actually has to do. But like, you are building around Annalie Waters. You've come up just short twice in a row. Is it time to move on from the supporting? Like, is Will House the guy you're moving on from? Like, it'd be interesting to see. This is another team. Every team's really interesting, but like, I think these teams that are established as like the top 3 or 4 teams that have to make a move, it's going to be a really tough decision.
Right, for sure. Will is just so cheap to keep. I can't imagine them moving off of him. I think he was less than $30,000.
I mean, maybe there's trade value there then,
Yeah, for sure there is trade value there. It's just like who are you going to get to? I don't know. Here's the deal. There's like 4 or 5 teams that are like heavily invested, willing to spend basically whatever it takes to win. So I think the offseason is going to be very interesting because we got the new team in, right? I'm going to get it right. The Palm Beach Royals, I believe. They seem to be willing to spend. I'm not 100% certain.
Did you read the Anna Bright blog post about that? I mean, they were willing to spend just to get into the league. And then she pointed out that they're in Palm Beach. A lot of players that are going to be dropped are in Palm Beach, like Gabe Tardio, Hayden Patrick Quinn, Anna Bright. Tyra Black, the Johnsons, like 2 of those players I just listed have to be dropped. So like the Palm Beach team wants some Palm Beach players. There is something to be done if you're willing to spend for it.
You're going to have to spend a ton, but yes.
Yeah, and here's a great point from Ben. Again, Ben, the architect behind Real Clear Stats. And I just saw someone asking too, like, how does he have this so fast? He's got a team of scorers. All this is collected by humans. They are trained on the same criteria. So, like, if one of them says this is an unforced error, the other one's going to agree like 95 or whatever % of the time. So, these stats are awesome. Not consumer facing to like the average Joe just yet, but maybe, I don't know. He's got some fun things coming. I want to get some fancy pickleball going with this data eventually. I think that'd be pretty sick. But
Agreed.
2 seasons of playoffs in the books. It's like, yeah, who do you want when the pressure is on?
Yeah. Let's talk about that. So it is incredible. Like, if you look at this, and I'm not really going to answer Ben's question, but I think it's leading me in a direction that
we'll acknowledge it. We are acknowledging the question. We're just not
right.
going to answer it.
But if you look at a screenshot or a snapshot of the season, right? Anytime leading up until the mid-season tournament, if you had to say one team is going to win, who's it going to be, Manny?
St. Louis or Dallas?
No, yeah. Dallas. Dallas.
Yeah. Up until then, yes.
Up until mid-season tournament, Dallas was like almost undefeated, or maybe they were undefeated.
Yeah, they didn't lose till late.
Right, and so it's
like St. Louis, maybe they lost to Columbus. I think was their first loss.
Yes, it was.
Which is interesting data point that maybe should have been. Yeah, but it's been discussed. It's been discussed.
So up until mid-season tournament, Dallas is by far the best team. Like, Georgia's running away with the MVP, and like everybody else is just trying to chase them. And then all of a sudden, a switch gets flipped a little bit. I think they went 5-3 in their last few matches.
And that men's doubles lineup like really kind of started. People started figuring that out a lot. Yeah.
And then St. Louis just kept clawing back and kept winning and kept winning. And up until the playoffs, it's like, oh, St. Louis is going to win this thing. They have the 1 seed. Hayden and Gabe are basically invincible. And so then you get to the playoffs, and all of a sudden Columbus gets hot. And it really like this to me shows more than anything else that MLP is just like every other sport where you have to get hot at the right moments, and Columbus proved that time and time again that they were able to do it.
Yeah, like Andre Diascu, he freaking peaked. He was peak Andre from like we saw towards the end of last year or earlier in this year when he was getting all those gold medals. This was that Andre. Like when we did the power ranking show on Zane's channel way back, and like I was like, Andre Diascu's number 1. He's number 1. He's like, and it was a hot take, but it wasn't like crazy. Like you could defend it. And like this week, the last 2 weeks, he is inarguably was the number 1 player on the planet for the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah, I mean another thing too is just the teams. It just takes time for teams to come together. You know, it's
for sure.
You can't just plug them in. So yeah, we definitely did not answer Ben's question, but
anybody with that dog in them. So like, I mean, Andre is overlooked, I think, as like, because we always talk about AB and we talk about Zane being a really good captain, and they're both very good captains.
3 players that were all on the Orlando Squeeze team that won an event back in 2023. True. So yeah, very
true. But Andre's a very good leader. You know that Paris has that dog in her. She's a big time competitor. CJ stepped up, and so did Leia. Like, did all of them play their best throughout the whole entire playoff? Other than Andre, even Andre, I mean, got like 7-1 against Will. Like, I don't think he would say that singles performance was his best. Like, it's all about managing. Like, okay, I don't think Leia played her best in that first match in doubles. Like, she made some very uncharacteristic.
I mean, her and CJ got worked by Augie and Tyra like the whole match.
And so, like, she had some times where she did not play her best, but then all of a sudden, to be frank, who gives a shit? And then she goes and wins, like goes 8-4 in a dream breaker. And it's like, damn, yeah, she didn't play well in that doubles match, but then all of a sudden she kicked ass in, you know what I'm saying? Like, everybody kind of stepped up at the right time when they needed to, even if they weren't playing their best just minutes before. And I think that is like, you can't, you, me, Ben, we all love stats, right? Like, we're stats nerds.
We dabble.
There's no money balling that to the point of like that movie Moneyball and like how that works. Like the playoffs are a different beast.
We got a motivational quote. I think Ben just ripped this straight from Andre Diascu's Twitter
Andre
account.
probably already posted.
Yep, there it is.
Yep. Oh wow, shocking! We were right, and I was joking that he did that, but that's actually hilarious.
Yeah, shout out, everybody drink again. Shout out Dad had Andre on the 2021 Pickle Ranchers, the Austin Pickle Ranchers, which then became the Ranchers, became the Texas Ranchers. AB won an event. The only event that the Texas, or back then just the Ranchers, have ever won in their history was the 2022 event. Anna Bright, James Ignatowicz, DJ Young, and Jackie Kawamoto. So
dang.
Quick rundown history lane for you. And then he gave up the team to let Ryan start picking players because he's smarter. No offense, Dad. He'll be the first to admit that. So quick little background. If you're new to the channel or if you're new to me, that's kind of how I got into this whole pickleball thing. Dad came home one day and said, "We're pickleball people now." He's like, "I have a small stake in this startup thing," because he was starting a pickleball facility here, and then it just kind of turned into what you're watching now. So yeah.
But now he's running one of the most successful
he's crushing
pickleball facilities in the country.
Title sponsor, Austin Pickle Ranch.
But also having been there, I haven't been all over the country, but that is by far the quietest facility I've ever been in.
I got to say though, what they had in that Dallas event was
that looked fun.
Just like it just had much higher ceilings and it was like so big and just spacious and like that was state of the art. I mean, Pickle Ranch obviously was great. The 2 outdoor courts, a ton of fun. But yeah, there's some interesting stuff. Somebody too was talking about like how can we have such bad courts for the finals? I mean, I get that, but like, is it worth it to have that big backdrop and you're in Central Park? Maybe not for the finals. Maybe you do it somewhere with a proper court in the future. But I don't know. It looked pretty cool on TV and on CBS. I'll be curious too to see. I haven't done this in a while, but like pulling all the TV numbers for how pickleball does. So I didn't see as many mean tweets either. So I don't know.
So I didn't love the green, to be honest.
The green I did not like at all.
Especially whatever. At this point, I'm not going to like nitpick on colors or whatever, but the green to me really stood out because it was like I couldn't track the ball a lot, like on the screen. The green was getting in the way, in my opinion. But here's another thought, and again, just we change rules in MLP every 5 seconds to 30 seconds, right? Like I get that Vulcan is the ball for MLP and Lifetime is now the ball for PPA. But if you're going to play on a rollout court, what's the harm in playing with the Lifetime ball to make it a little bit more like normal? I don't know. Just something to think about. Yeah.
Low bounce thing, pretty much the only thing, which we talked about a good bit. But yeah, I don't know. Yep. It's just a trade-off. It's the ultimate trade-off, It is. Of course, then we'll get Tyler Loong. He'll just, be on his soapbox, I'm sure, for indoor pickleball. But I don't know. Sometimes it's just kind of fun to be outside.
Right. I agree.
Yeah. Courts were close together. Oops, I meant to click this one. Courts were very close together. Cool. Well, we got about 2 minutes left. I'll take this opportunity to open up the floor to Erik. And before we do that, if you're new to this channel, again, really would appreciate you liking, subscribing. And if you are, really liking what you're seeing, you could become a member of the channel for just $1 a month. You get access to my Pickleball Life episode about my dog, Basil the Dog. And I'll just like share some top secret charts and stuff, interactive graphics that exclusive. So if that's your kind of thing and you're into that sort of thing, consider doing all that. And Erik, thanks for coming on. Like you're the guy. If you're not following Erik Tice on Twitter, formerly known as X, or maybe it's X, formerly known as Twitter, and not reading his stuff every time he's posting on the Ding's website, you're missing out on like just all the latest and breaking news in pickleball. So, Erik, anything else we need to add here before we sign off?
I might do a shameless plug. Give me 2 seconds.
Plug away.
Okay. I am 2 X followers away from getting to 1,500. I would love to get to 1,500.
We could do that.
If we could help me out with that, I'd appreciate it. But yeah, I cover everything pro pickleball for the Dink, AZE Tice on Twitter, X, and do recaps, preview. As soon as we're done here, I'm gonna go write up my recap while making tacos. So we'll see how that goes.
Cool. And I'll be, we'll see. Got a lot of clips to work through, but try to get a video out doing a proper recap sometime this week. So again, thank you, Erik, for joining. Hoping to do more of these live streams. Having a ton of fun with them. And 62 people. That's a new record for these. 62 people. So thank you, everybody.
Nice.
And go get yourself some tacos, Odoth, and I'm going to go and hit the end stream button. So thanks, everybody.
See you guys.